Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Today we're going to do our 8th set of alternatives for the September 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Fall for Toile. Here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done them as intended. And as you know, we're going to change things up a little bit, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with this one here. I have a piece of, let me see, what is this? All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. Pecan pie. I knew it was pecan something. Pecan pie that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have then taken this and ran it through the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So this is big enough, you know, that you can run the whole piece through it. And so this is going to be our card base. I've got a piece of early espresso that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and that's going to be our second layer, and our card's going to go this way this time. And then I've got one of the card punch outs that came in the kit of our lovely cornfield here, and that's going to go on top. I've got another piece of pecan pie here that is, let's see, it is 2 3/4, I'm sorry, by 1/2 inch, and we're going to stamp our greeting on there. And then I need a piece for the inside. Let's see if I have a piece of, oh, that's probably not big enough. I need a piece of, let's see, white or vanilla. We could use either for the inside of this card. Let's see if we can rustle up a piece of vanilla. Oh, let's see if I can find my, there we go, my berry vanilla. Let's use a piece of this. So we need a piece for the inside that's 5 by 4 1/4. I'm just going to grab my trimmer here, and real quickly we'll cut us an inside piece because, you know, my brain is not working today. At least not the way it should be. Let's see, wait a minute. So we need, what did I say? 4 1/4 by 5. Oh my goodness, I'll be alright. Let's do 4 1/4 by 5. That doesn't look very straight on that end. Let's whirl this around here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we've got our piece for the inside that still doesn't look like the right size. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see. I don't think that piece was very straight. Let's start with a clean sheet so we know it's straight this time, because that one was crooked. Alright. So we'll do this, and then by 5 1/4, make sure we're straight. Okay, that looks much better. Alright, so we've got our piece for the inside and this. So let's go ahead and stamp. So we're going to stamp an early espresso, and we are going to do, on this little piece here, we're going to do the sentiment that says, thinking of you, and this came in the kit. So we'll ink this up, and I'm going to move this, line it up on the glass mat. I'm going to stamp as far to the left-hand side as I can. So I'm going to put a little dovetail on the right-hand side. So we're going to get this down, hopefully straight, although I can't promise that that was very straight. We'll see. Let's try again on the other side. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. I knew when I set it down it wasn't quite straight, so let's try this again. Sometimes you just know. Okay, I think this is better. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put that aside for just a minute. On the inside, I'm going to put wishing you the happiest of days. So this also was a stamp that came in the kit. We will get that off our glass mat, whatever that was. Line this up, and we'll just put this kind of right there. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm gonna put the ink away for the moment. We're gonna need that again in a minute. And I'm gonna just take my scissors and cut a little dovetail here. So I'm gonna cut up in the middle, just a little snip, because we don't have much to work with. And then go from each corner to the middle. And there we have a nice little dovetail. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this card together. So this is going to go on the inside. So we'll put some glue on this. And we'll get this centered up. I like the card bases when you run them through an embossing folder and give the whole thing some texture. Just makes it look so cool. Okay, so there's that. Now we'll get this. Let's see. We're going to, before we put this down, I've got some gold thread here. I want to, not that piece, I guess, since that was part of a piece. Let's see if we can get this started again. Okay. It's got a glue dot on it that does not want to come up. Let's untangle this. Come on. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take this. I'm just going to snip off the end since it's kind of frayed. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around. I'm going to leave some up here because we're going to tie a bow in a minute. So I'm just going to wrap this around 3 or 4 times. However many, just, you know, makes you happy at the moment. And I'm going to take and cut this. And then we're going to tie just a very loose bow here. And this is just so we can give it one more element of texture. Let's see if we can. Oops, I missed. All right, let's try again. If I could find the other loop. There we go. Now, okay, so let me just kind of straighten this up a bit. I'm going to take this and finagle it around. So we've got, try to get our loops even as possible. And I'm going to trim this one off just a little bit. Okay, now what I want to do, I kind of want to move this just a little bit so our bow is closer to the middle there. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're going to leave it like that. We're going to take a glue dot, if I can find them. Here we go, hiding wherever they fell off here. Here we go. So I'm going to take a glue dot and use my take your pick tool. I'm just going to roll this off of here, and I'm going to take it, and I've got glue dots everywhere. My goodness. I'm just going to put it right under here, kind of in the middle. I just want to hold this so it's not floating all over our card. So we'll just kind of stick that little bow down there. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to put it on here. So we'll just put glue on the back here. And we'll center this up on our early espresso piece. Okay, just like that. We're going to take this, and this is going to go right here So let's see, where should we put this? Maybe you could do it more toward the top or right in the middle of the bow. I think I'll do it right in the middle. We're going to pop it up on some dimensionals. So let me scare some up here. I've got a couple edge pieces on here I would like to use up and get rid of. So let's start with these and see if this will be enough. If not, I will dig out some more. But I think this might do it. There we go. Perfect. Now that's going to stick over this side, but I'm just going to give that a little snip off. There we go. All right, get the backs off of this. And we will put this down right here, right across our center of our bow there. Let's make sure it's straight. Okay, now we'll take this whole thing and put onto our card base. And we will center this up like this. And we'll give that a good press down. All right, perfect. Okay, last thing we need to do is put some bling. So I've got these faux glass dots that are kind of in these autumn colors here. So let's go ahead and let's see, what should we use? Maybe these kind of yellow ones here. Oops. Well, that one just doesn't want to play. It's running away on me. All right, so we'll put one there. And we'll get another one. A littler one. For here. And one more little one we will do. Let's see. Where? I'll just do, whoop. Oh, that one stuck to my finger. And not the card. Come on. Now I can't get hold of it. There we go. I think that one lost its sticky. Let's just try another one. These are so tiny. They're kind of hard to get off of here. All right. We're going to get that right down there in our corn patch. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there's our first card. Now, our second card. We're going to start with a early espresso card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We'll give this a good burnish. I've got a piece of white that's 4 by 5 1/4 for our inside. This is part of the half of one of the card bases that kind of has this linen texture look to it. This is going to be our first layer here. I took circle punch. So this came in the kit, this circle. The other two I punched out of half of one of the card bases that with the little circle die that was in this month's add-on. So it was just the little circle that came in the add-on dies for this month. So we're going to take these and we're going to take our card front and we're going to glue these two brown ones down. Okay. So I'm just going to put glue on these. We'll take these. And I'm just going to kind of put them, one right there, and one right here. And then we're gonna stamp on this one, and then we're gonna pop it up here in the middle. So on this, I want to do early espresso. So I'm just going to move this to the side. And in our circle, we're going to do a little stamp that says thinking of you. And so we're going to get that down here. Just like that. And then on our inside piece, we're going to do sentiment that says, let's see, this one. So I need to take this off my block, put this one on. This one says, sending happy thoughts. So we will put this on a block, if I can get it off my finger. There we go. We'll ink this up. I'm going to line the card up on the glass mat, so we hopefully start with it pretty straight. And so we got sending happy thoughts. Perfect. Put our ink away. Now, we've got a bunch of little leaves here that I cut out of different card flaps, the flaps to the envelopes. So there was an orange one, there was this kind of pecan pie one, and this I think is like a Cajun Craze one. So these are our leaves we're going to put on here in just a second. So let's pop this up. Let me find a real sheet of dimensionals here, or some more. I have all these side pieces, so we might as well use them because they're just taking up space in my craft room here. So let me cut some of these side pieces up. And we will just put a few of these on our little circle here. Okay, let's see. There's one real one in here, so let's use that in the middle. And maybe one more. I'd like to have a tiny piece here for right here. Okay, so let's get the backs off of these. I think we got them all. All right, so we are going to put this down right here, just like that. I've got some glue. Let's go ahead and get this glue off of here that I must have had on my finger. It's a good thing these rubber erasers just take this dry glue right off there. Okay, so there's that. Now, we're going to put this down on our card base. And just like this, we'll center it up on the front here. We need to move it down just a little. We're too far north on that one, so let's go down just a little bit. We'll get that wiggled around there. Okay, so there's that. Then we can go ahead and put this on the inside. And we'll get that down here. All right, looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and glue our little leaves down. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. You just kind of wherever they land. I'm trying to not put all the same colors right next to each other though. I'm trying to mix it up a little. So we'll just do just a little bit of glue on the back of each one. And the point is they're supposed to look like falling leaves. So we'll get these put around here. And just a couple more here. Got way too much glue on that one, so we're gonna swap some for our other leaf here. There we go. One more. And then we can, let's see, where should we put this one? Maybe up here in the corner. Okay. Now, last thing we need is some bling for this one. And we've got these same faux glass dots, but I think we'll use the Cajun Craze color. So let's do these. Oops. Oh my goodness. Well, that one doesn't want to play either. There. Okay. These things are kind of old. I think they've been around for entirely too long. And some of them don't have a lot of sticky left on them. There we go. Should probably use them more often than I do to get rid of them. Because that way if I get rid of them I can buy more, right? See, we're going to move that one over just a little. See if we can get one more off here. Here we go. Perfect. Just like that. All right. So there are the 2 cards that we made for today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back with you very soon. Have a crafty day. Bye.